Good evening and a very warm welcome to the news on Sansad TV. I'm Isha Shah. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take a look at all the latest from India and across the world. Let's get started right away with the headlines. RT-PCR test mandatory for passengers coming in from 5 countries including China. Health Ministry directs states to ensure availability of oxygen, ventilators and health services. National Education Policy creating futuristic education system. Prime Minister Modi addresses Amrit Mahotsav of Swaminarayan Gurukul Sansthan, hails Gurukul as the confluence of traditional and modern education. Entire North India, including Kashmir Valley, in the grip of cold wave. Heavy snowfall forecast in hilly areas. Dense fog engulfs Delhi, surrounding areas affecting normal life. In India-Bangladesh second test match, India 45 for 4 at stumps, need 100 more runs to win the Mirpur test. Christmas spirit grips the world. President Murmu visits Sacred Heart Cathedral in Delhi on the eve of Christmas. Vice President extends greetings to the people. Let's take a look now at our Flash News segment. Consumer empowerment is going to be a paramount feature of developed India, says Minister for Consumer Affairs Piyush Goyal. Department of Pension and Pensioners Welfare successfully conducts campaign for adoption of digital life certificates. Over 5 crore health records of citizens digitized. Government's farm-friendly policies bring more area under cultivation during the current Rabi season, says Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Ministry. Government invites people to design logo for Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission, representing the roots of the robust and accessible healthcare system. Last date for submissions is 12th of January. Ladakh celebrates Losar festival to mark Ladakhi New Year. Losar is the major social-religious festival of Ladakh that is celebrated in winter. India records 201 new COVID-19 infections in the last 24 hours. Active case count rises to 3397. Kerala confirms the highly pathogenic H5N1 avian influenza virus in Kottayam district. In a first in Kerala, Mahatma Gandhi University decides to provide 60 days maternity leave to girl students aged 18 years and above in undergraduate and postgraduate courses. Sitweni Rabuka was sworn in as the Prime Minister of Fiji. He also held the post of Prime Minister of Fiji almost 2 decades ago. And 22 people killed and 6 others injured in a fire at an illegally operated private shelter in the Siberian city of Kemerovo. Our top story. The centre has urged the states and union territories to be prepared to tackle any challenge arising out of a surge in COVID-19 cases in view of a sudden rise in cases in several countries. The government has asked states and UTs to ensure the availability of liquid medical oxygen, adequate inventory of cylinders and functional life support systems such as ventilators at hospitals. The Health Ministry also asked them to ensure that pressure swing adsorption oxygen generating plants are kept fully functional and regular mock drills are conducted to check them. In a letter to states, Additional Secretary of the Health Ministry said the operationalization and maintenance of these medical infrastructure is of utmost importance. He said that medical oxygen is an important resource in all clinical settings, particularly during the pandemic, and reliable oxygen supply is critical for saving lives. Now, RT-PCR test is now mandatory for passengers coming in from China, Japan, South Korea, Singapore and Thailand for the travel to India, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia said on Saturday. He also said that passengers arriving in India from these countries will undergo thermal screening at airports. Those found positive or with fever will be quarantined. Mansukh Mandavia also said that filling up of the Air Suvidha form to declare the health status will be made mandatory for passengers coming in from these countries. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi on Thursday cautioned against complacency, calling for a strict vigil and directed that the ongoing surveillance measures be strengthened.
चीन में जिस तरह से कोविड महामारी फैल रही है, उसको देखते हुए चीन, जापान, दक्षिण कोरिया, सिंगापुर, बैंकॉक सभी से आने वाली फ्लाइट को तुरंत ही एयर सुविधा के माध्यम से सभी पैसेंजर को ट्रैक किया जाएगा। पैसेंजर पहले से ही आरटीपीसीआर रिपोर्ट अपलोड करके ही आएंगे। इंडिया में आने के बाद भी उसका थर्मल स्कैनिंग किया जाएगा और कोई पॉजिटिव पाया जाएगा या तो बुखार पाई जाएगी तो उसको देश में ही क्वारंटाइन करने के लिए हमने आदेश जारी कर दिया है।
Meanwhile, sample testing of international passengers, including those from China, Hong Kong, Bangkok, Japan, and South Korea, has been initiated at the Delhi International Airport. 2% of the passengers coming in from each international flight are being randomly selected and tested for COVID-19 at these airports. Moving on now, a forward-looking and futuristic education system is being created in the country for the first time through the new National Education Policy, Prime Minister Modi said today. Prime Minister was addressing the 75th Amrit Mahotsav of Sri Swaminarayan Gurukul in Rajkot via a video link. Hailing India's ancient Gurukul system of education, he said that knowledge has been the highest purpose of life in the country. He added that Gurukuls guided the humanity regarding science, spirituality, and gender equality. He also said that the number of IITs, IIMs, and medical colleges in the country have increased substantially after 2014. Let's listen in.
इस गुरुकुल के मूल में भगवान स्वामीनारायण की प्रेरणा रही है। प्रवर्तनीया सद्विद्या भुवि यत् सुकृतम महत्, अर्थात सत विद्या का प्रसार संसार का सबसे पवित्र, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण कार्य है। यही तो ज्ञान और शिक्षा के प्रति भारत का वो शाश्वत समर्पण है जिसने हमारी सभ्यता की नींव रखी है।
All right, now Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar interacted with the probationers of the 2021 batch of the Indian Forest Service in the Parliament House complex today. The Vice President called for collective global action to tackle the massive challenge of climate change and environmental degradation. Expressing concern about reckless exploitation of natural resources, the Vice President said human species cannot take the planet as its exclusive privilege. He observed, forests have been an integral and cardinal part of Indian ethos, consciousness, and culture. The Vice President urged the officers to serve nature, to serve humankind, suggesting that they are the ambassadors of nature.
You are ambassadors of nature. And आपका रोल बहुत बड़े गवर्नेंस में भी है. Your service has been relevant, but relevance of this service in these contemporary times is at peak. Go to any part of the world, take note of any country, take the activities of United Nations, and you will find focusing on climate change.
The Vice President also said that the officers will be dealing with the tribal communities and get first-hand experience of their culture. He said that they have a godly opportunity to serve their needs and aspirations. Let's listen in.
My dear officials, you will be dealing with tribes. You will be dealing with tribal culture. You will be required to be very sensitive. You will get first-hand experience of habitations in the forest. You will be exposed to sublimity of culture, pristine culture, its authenticity. As human beings, you will get a godly opportunity to serve that category.
Now, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla interacted with students of MIT University in Pune on the topic Leadership, Democracy, Good Governance and Peace. Addressing the students, the speaker said that India is the mother of democracy and democracy is in our DNA. He also said that India had democracy even before it became independent. He stated that decisions were taken collectively in our villages even in the past. He also stressed that the youth of the country are working hard to make India a superpower. He said that the transformations that have taken place so far in the world have been carried out by the youth.
जब कभी भी बड़ा परिवर्तन हुआ, उस परिवर्तन का वाहक हमेशा नौजवान रहा। चाहे सामाजिक परिवर्तन हो, चाहे राजनीति परिवर्तन हो, चाहे विज्ञान का परिवर्तन हो, चाहे टेक्नोलॉजी का परिवर्तन हो, आध्यात्मिक, योग, विज्ञान, जब भी नया परिवर्तन हुआ, उस परिवर्तन का वाहक हमेशा नौजवान रहा। और जो हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ी है, वो आने वाली पीढ़ी जिस कड़ी मेहनत, कठिन परिश्रम से, अपनी बौद्धिक क्षमता से भारत के नवनिर्माण में योगदान दे रही है, जिसके कारण हमें गर्व होता है।
Congress Party's Bharat Jodo Yatra entered the national capital today. Led by Rahul Gandhi, the Yatra entered Delhi from Haryana this morning through Badarpur border. The Gandhi family walked together as former party president Sonia Gandhi, party general secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Robert Vadra and their children also joined the Yatra for some distance. BSP MP Shyam Singh Yadav and DMK leader T. Sumati also took part in the Padyatra with Rahul Gandhi. Sharing a picture with his mother on Twitter, Rahul Gandhi said that the love that he received from his mother, he was now sharing with the country. Traffic snarls were reported from parts of Delhi as the march made its way through the national capital. The Yatra has so far passed through 9 states and has covered a distance of more than 3,000 kilometers so far. After an 8-day break, the Yatra will now move towards Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and finally Jammu and Kashmir. The whole of North India is reeling under severe cold wave conditions. In Jammu and Kashmir, freezing weather conditions continued unabated as mercury saw a further drop. Kupwara and Bhadarwa recorded the season's coldest night, while mercury settled at minus 5.4 degrees Celsius in Srinagar on Saturday. Met Department officials have said that overall the mercury was 3.4 degrees Celsius below normal during this time of the year for the summer capital. Kaziganj recorded a low of minus 4.4 degrees Celsius against minus 4.6 degrees Celsius on the previous night. Pahalgam recorded a low of minus 6.4 degrees Celsius, the same as on the previous night. It remained the second coldest night this season in the famous tourist resort in South Kashmir's Anantnag district. It's Christmas Eve and the entire world is drenched in the festive spirit. Churches across the world are bathed in lights, flowers and decorations. Christmas trees are decked up. A midnight mass will be held on the churches on Saturday night and special morning prayers will be held on Christmas Day tomorrow. Greeting the people, President Draupadi Murmu said that Christmas is a symbol of peace and brotherhood for the entire mankind that inspires people to treat each other with love and kindness. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said that Jesus Christ showed the path of love, empathy and kindness which may eventually lead to lasting peace in the world. And time now for a very quick look at some more news from across the nation. President Draupadi Murmu visited the Sacred Heart Cathedral in New Delhi a day before Christmas. The president prayed for the progress and welfare of humanity. Participating in the celebrations and spending time with the children, she also spent some more time with the people gathered there. Security forces on Friday arrested 2 terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Bandipora district. Acting on a tip-off, security forces apprehended 2 militants of the resistance front. This is believed to be an offshoot of Lashkar-e-Toiba in the upper reaches of Bandipora when they were on their way to Srinagar. A Chinese-made pistol, a magazine and some cartridges, a Chinese grenade and detonators have been seized from these terrorists. US President Joe Biden announced the nomination of Indian-origin lawyer Ambassador Richard Verma, who was the US Ambassador to India, as Deputy Secretary of State. If confirmed by the Senate, Richard Verma will be the first Indian-American to hold the top position in the State Department. Richard Verma is currently Chief Legal Officer and Head of Global Public Policy at MasterCard. The IT department on Saturday issued an advisory that those PAN cards which are not linked with Aadhaar by the end of March next year will be rendered inoperative. A circular issued by the CBDT on 30th March said that once a PAN becomes inoperative, an individual shall be liable to all the consequences under the IT Act and will have to suffer a number of implications. A special court of the CBI today remanded former ICICI Bank CEO and MD Chanda Kochhar, her husband Deepak Kochhar, in custody till Monday. The CBI arrested the couple on Friday in connection with the alleged ICICI Bank Videocon money laundering case. The CBI has alleged that ICICI Bank under Chanda Kochhar had sanctioned loans to Videocon in violation of the Banking Regulation Act, RBI guidelines, and credit policy of the bank. And time now for a very short break in the bulletin. Lots more coming up on the other side. Do stay tuned.
The glorious journey of India's 75 years of independence, protection of rights, ensuring equality, to empower, to deliver justice. Laws that have defined India and its people. Laws that everyone should know. Watch 75 years. Laws that shaped India. With me, Hemant Batra, only on Sansad TV.
Welcome back. Let's take a look now at all the latest from the Russia-Ukraine conflict. At least 8 people were killed and 58 injured in fresh Russian shelling on the southern city of Kherson a day ahead of Christmas. Cars also caught fire in a residential area of the city after shelling, the emergency services said. Ukrainian President Zelensky condemned Saturday's attack as an act of terror. Saturday's shelling came hours after Zelensky warned of possible Russian attacks on Ukraine during the holiday season. The US Senate has passed a bill that includes $45 billion in humanitarian, economic and security assistance for Ukraine amid Russia's ongoing invasion. The move comes after Ukraine's president made a historic visit to Washington on Wednesday to make the case for continued support. Zelensky had said that the aid is an investment in global security and democracy that we handle in the most responsible manner. Ukraine President Zelensky said that his country will intensify its diplomatic efforts across Africa, Latin America and the Pacific amid the ongoing war with Russia. He said that stronger ties with the global south would bring huge economic potential as well as significant diplomatic opportunities. He asserted that this would be valuable towards votes on United Nations resolutions which help protect our territorial integrity and international law. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin toured an arms production plant in Russia's Tula region on Friday. Putin was given a walking tour of the plant and saw some of the armaments on display, including missiles, vehicles with missile launchers, and tracked armored vehicles. Putin's Friday visit follows his speech to defense chiefs in Moscow on Wednesday, where he had said that the Russian army must learn from and fix the problems it had suffered in Ukraine. He also promised to give the armed forces whatever was required for the war in Ukraine. And let's take a look now at some more news from across the globe. A fierce winter storm has dampened the holiday season in New York and several other areas in the United States of America. Millions have been trapped in their homes due to freezing cold, facing power outages as icy winds and rainfall grip large parts of the United States. 13 people have died so far due to the snowstorm. Let's take a look at this report.
The deep freeze has gripped large parts of the United States ahead of Christmas, as a fierce winter storm rips through several states. With mercury and visibility plummeting drastically, millions are trapped in their homes. The storm has flooded parts of New York and New Jersey and buried houses and vehicles under snow. New York has declared a state of emergency, with the Met Department warning of a wind gust that might top 100 kilometers per hour. The historic winter storm has affected states stretching from Montana to Texas, with mercury plunging to minus 45 degrees in Montana on Friday. Nearly 240 million people, more than two-thirds of the US population, have been under extreme weather warnings and advisories on Friday. The deep chill has also disrupted traffic and triggered accidents across the country. In Ohio, a deadly 50-vehicle pileup killed at least 4 people on Friday. Thousands of flights have been cancelled due to low visibility. From Saturday, the cold air is predicted to grow even more severe, and the eastern shore is bracing for a blizzard. Over 1.4 million homes and businesses are severely hit as the storm caused power outages, especially in the eastern US, where gusty winds knocked down trees and power lines. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And time now to take a look at the most interesting developments from the world of sports. Mirpur test between India and Bangladesh interestingly poised. India lose 4 wickets in chase of 145 and day 3 at 45 for 4. Need 100 more runs with 6 wickets in hand. Liton Das scores an important half century with 73 runs. Last 4 wickets add crucial 118 runs for Bangladesh in the second innings. Off-spinner Mehdi Hassan Miraj takes 3 important wickets, including those of Pujara, Gill and Kohli in India's second innings. Meanwhile, Pakistan Cricket Board, headed by Najam Sethi, trying to convince South African Mickey Arthur to return as the head coach of the national team. And PCB names former captain Shahid Afridi as the interim chief of the National Selection Committee. Abdul Razak is also included in the 4-member committee. And with that, it's a wrap of the edition this weekend. Do stay tuned to Sansad TV for all the latest news and updates. Do also share your feedback with us on our social media sites. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Good night.